All right, what is going on? We got day two of solving hard tactics. The first day I looked back, it took about 40 minutes, which was pretty nuts to see the whole thing and finally realize it. Hopefully, this one will be much shorter and I'll get it faster. Um, so we have this position here. My first time seeing it. Got my Vietnamese coffee and I'm ready to go. It is white to move and looks like a middle game with black having the bishop pair. I see the knight on c6 is hanging. That could be in the air. Okay, interesting. This is actually very normal. Like this knight, I can't put it on a that useful of a square just yet. You know, any square I put it on is protected. Maybe except this square, but this knight can capture it. So there's no actually good discoveries for this knight on the surface. I also see this rook is very loose. If this knight were to go away, this rook would be a good target to capture. Um, I mean, this position looks so normal, I think. And what separates like the grandmasters from players like myself is they see a position like this and they see like opportunity and richness, and I'm just like, let's just castle and let's develop, and you know I also think the king side could be very open, so something like capturing here, moving my rook to the center. Okay, so what are my candidate moves right now? I'm looking at g takes h5. I'm also looking at uh, h4, followed by this maybe. My other candidate moves I can look at. Um, those are my first two candidate moves. And then maybe later bring the knight somewhere else to discover attack. But for right now, those are my two moves. I like to think of candidate moves before I solve tactics and try to go deep, just to make sure I have a wide scope. But this could lead to some ideas. So say, for example, the first line, g takes h5. So my threat is to go rook g1 and possibly bring my bishop to d3. So in response to this, what can black do? I mean, can black simply ignore everything and just like, my plan is too slow. Look at this. Like, they're gonna trade off pieces now. Um, yeah, so even if I do something like this, trade, 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 you know, you know, I prefer white, obviously, because of the open G file and my centralized queen. But this is not an advantage at all. So in this position, like, I don't think I have a good knight move. Maybe this, but like, it's not a clear advantage. Maybe I have this move. No, I don't, because it's protected after the knight moves. So, in So I got so basically I got to do something fast, right? Like this trade is gonna happen. They can even trade immediately, which actually wouldn't be that wise. Um, okay, so I'm gonna rule out G takes H5. What if I play H4? New variation, new line. Let's see. Um, this bishop has to move, or you can capture on G4 first. So say this bishop moves back. Let's say it goes here with the idea to go to G7. Oh, I see. If it goes out this diagonal, maybe now we can play this knight move. And wherever the king goes, let's say it goes here, we push, and then we win the knight. Okay, so that could be a tactic right there. So we win a piece. But let's go back. Say the bishop stays on this diagonal. Say it stays like this. And if we capture the bishop, the knight can capture it. I think everything's okay. Unless it's not. So now can we take? Because now the E7 square can't go back to his knight, to the knight. So now this file's really open. I have my queen to G3 coming. I can bring my bishop to E4, 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 and have a good position here, I think. So what can black do to stop this? If black exchanges, actually, wait a minute. Black can take safely, right? But I think that would be bad in general because of the open lines it'll give. So I can imagine, just for example, yeah, just for example, this looks kind of scary. I mean, I could even push and then, somehow bring my queen in. Okay, let's actually go back for 1 second and go back to the line where he played bishop e7. Let's just continue to see this line and scene before I get sidetracked. I take. Okay, what can black do? Maybe black can try to escape now? With the idea of going to king f8. So for example, check. This is probably losing. Checkmate. Okay, so bishop b7, we take. What can black do to stop this? Maybe move like f5? That sounds risky. f5, let's try it. Because now if h6, then he has rook g8. Well, I guess this wins a piece. No, it doesn't. I was thinking this bishop will capture, but the knight will capture back. So, actually, is this checkmate? Oh, interesting. Okay, so f5 doesn't work. So, wow. So 2 checkmates. If bishop e7, I think the correct move is to capture. Okay, say black captures. I feel like we give a check first. wherever the black king goes. Then we capture. Right? Then we capture, or maybe we push first. But rook g8. So say we capture, rook g8. You know, targeting c6 and f7. And there's no way to block it. There's no actually good square for the knight. So you can't even defend it because you have two attackers on the knight. So best spot would be here. And this is bad, no? Something like this. You know, it's good for white, but usually with these tactics they have some more forcing line. But I like this though. It's very good. I have plans to just move my rook over, maybe bring my knight in, push this pawn, maybe even bring the queen back, and this bishop is guarding the square. So actually that might even be a better move. So say black does a random move like this, you know, rook g1, something like this, where you target g7, and you can't play rook g8 because of the bishop. Oh, it looks pleasant. Okay, so that was bishop e7. Let's go back. h4, bishop f6 loses a piece. So we looked at e7, f6, and h6. Now let's look at the critical line. Bishop h4. I was imagining some line where I capture this bishop, but I don't see it just yet. Like capture the bishop, queen captures, and then castle queenside, bringing the other rook into the game. Is there anything there for that? So, capture, capture. Maybe capture here first. I mean, I would still play this as white, even if it wasn't the right tactic. It just seems very pleasant. Like, if you play here, now I have this option. You know, this seems good for white, but I mean, it's not over. You know, it's still a game. So let's go back. Let's not capture the bishop immediately. There's no concrete line that I see after you capture. So what's next? Do you push? No, you can't push. Do you capture here, which is the main line? But after this, actually you can't do that yet because the bishop hangs. You can't play knight e7 yet. Oh, I see. What if you capture and do some kind of line where you check the same line as before, or similar line, because the knight's hanging. The only problem is that if I capture, then black can capture back, and it's relatively even. So is there an in-between move that I can do? Like this? Because I'm forking the king and the queen. The bishop is forced to capture. And I can capture back with my queen. And my threat Is it a threat? My threat is to take this knight. But say he moves knight anywhere. I don't think I have a threat here. Because if I go queen h7, then he captures my knight. What if I play knight takes h5? The king has 3 legal moves. Say the king goes forward. Yeah, I don't see the most accurate continuation here. It might. Wait a minute. I'm down in material here, right? Because I sacrificed my rook. So unless I have checkmate, this is not gonna be the best line. Yeah, I don't see anything here. I'm trying to find a way to fork this rook, but I'm trying to force something that's not there. Alright, let's go back. So we sacrifice our bishop or our rook for the bishop, but why? So the answer was, one of my candidate moves was knight f6 check, king g7. And then what if you just check immediately? You don't even go for the fork. So the king, they don't even have time to do anything else. And say they go forward. Oh, and then you capture. Oh, I like that. Okay. So after you check, the king shouldn't go on a square where it can be checked. So possibly king h8. And the same threat does not apply because if I capture, then the queen will capture. So what is the plan here? I mean, I think I would still like this position. Queen capture. Oh, I'll play it out. Queen captures. Queen captures. You know. Queen captures, targeting the rook. Rook moves. Yeah. I see why this might not be the best. I target this rook. And then black's coordinated. And he's actually winning the material. I have an extra pawn? No, pawns are even. So yeah, I'm just down the exchange here. So king h8 is the more critical line. Because I will be very happy to sacrifice this 2 minor pieces for a rook. But even that, I don't know if that's the right answer for the tactic. I mean, in a real game, I would do that. Especially because the minor pieces are much better in the games where there's a lot of pieces on the board. So I would rather have the 2 minor pieces. So king h8. I mean, I have this battery. I wonder if I can make a checkmate threat. Like here. But the knight hangs. So what if I sounds strange, but what if I castle here and then bring the rook to h1? That honestly might be the right answer. Say for example, can I castle? Oh, technically I can castle. I just the leash doesn't let me, or I had to set it on the board editor. Oh, that's very inconvenient. But say I castle, bring the rook over, and then I'm gonna threaten checkmate here. Is that wrong? I guess, for example, say I castle. So, okay, I'm gonna play a. This is really bad for the video. I'll play a3, but a3 actually means to castle. Okay? And say I castle. I mean, they have this move, right? Actually, you can take with. If you take with a pawn, then the rook comes in and is able to pin the queen. So takes. takes, takes, and the rook's ready to pin the queen, and knight's hanging. So maybe the queen has to go to a place where it can counterattack my knight. For example, here. The rook comes over, gives a check. The king moves to g8. You know, I can check here and then win this knight. I think that's the right plan. So let's go over that again. With this a3 being the castle move. That seems like the most plausible. So you play h4, and if they capture, we capture back. We give a check, exposing the knight to it as a target. The king moves. We castle queenside. a3 is castling queenside. And if they were to capture, we just capture back all the pieces and then eventually bring our rook to h1. That's the idea. People looking at this video, not paying attention to the screen, just leave in the background, you see the king going to h1. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I think that's the right answer. Let's look at the answer key. This is a book called Imagination in Chess, problem 151. And yes, h4 is the right answer. h4, but they gave a different variation. They gave bishop takes e3, which I didn't calculate. So that's my fault. But h4 was the right answer. Oh, I actually should have calculated that, actually. I'm disappointed in myself. Because I ruled out these answers, but also taking here was an option. I just didn't consider trading the piece away. But that's totally valid. Let's actually not look at the answer key. And let's take a look at this line. So if the bishop takes, do we take back with the knight and then expose the attack? And then eventually win this pawn? And open up the g file? Or do we take it with the queen with the idea of going to h6? Or do we throw in a check first? No, it's too slow for a check because the king can go up and then the queen can capture. So we have two options, or three options. The pawn can take, but I don't think the pawn has any place here. I feel like because if the queen takes, then bishop takes, knight back. Something like this. Okay, that's actually very good for white. Let's see if I play the right moves. I was trying to make a point of saying if we trade everything, if black trades everything, is that even a winning line? So trade, and say black defends this way. Then we give a check, and then we win this pawn. So maybe we want to guard this square. So what if you block with the rook? You simply take, and then now threaten to play this. So say, for example, king h7, rook g1, rook g8, and then something like this, we even just win a piece outright. Actually, it can get messy because I was thinking you just win a piece, but he has this check to win my rook, and even if I trade the rooks first, the queen can come and check. So, but this feels like the right line. I feel like queen takes is the right option. Let's just quickly explore knight takes. Because I feel like with this move, can you even get away with playing d5? Actually, no, you lose a piece. But at least you stop the attack. I mean, you stop the attack. And you don't have to play d5. Maybe you can play something else. Maybe you can play something like this. I mean, this is still okay. Because you can always meet any move with this. Actually, this might be okay. And it's knight hanging. Huh. Okay, both lines look very good. Both lines look very good. Okay, Sam, in a real game, what would you actually play? And then I'm asking you guys, what would you guys play? Would you take it with the knight or the queen? So let's look at this again. Knight's hanging. So the knight has to move. Will be defended. If knight moves here, then we have an open field for the king. Actually, knight doesn't have to move first. Maybe the pawn can take first. And then I can move. Yeah, this is still winning. Okay, let's go back. Let's see if the queen takes. What's the best defense? In the variation I gave, I had bishop takes d5, but maybe you can play. It sounds very sad to say. You can play f6, f6. Oops, well, not f4, f6, and bring your rook in. So let's say this. Say you play. Actually, no. f6 runs into winning a pawn, but that's not that bad, right? That's not that bad. I don't know, did my leech chest freeze? Oh, there it is, okay. That's not that bad, huh? Okay, I say, my gut says to go with the knight now. Or not my gut is usually my first reaction. I now say, take with the knight. But let's see what the answer says. Oh, wow, they actually do throw in knight f6. So knight f6 was the right answer, but I ruled it out immediately because after I play king to g7, if I take this knight, then they win this knight. Oh, that was the same idea we had last time. You take the pawn first, and then wherever the king goes, then you take the knight. Say the king goes back. Let's say here. Then you take. Threat is to take here. But you can also maybe go here. Huh. This is getting more complex now. Unless you take with the pawn. Or you give a check first. No, this can't be right. Okay, I'm going to refer to the book. Oh my goodness, this is freaking nuts. So after knight f6, king h8, and then the move that I also ruled out was g5. That's pretty nuts. I thought g5 was just bad because this bishop just took our knight. So what if this? Oh, wow. Okay, but what if bishop here? I guess now you take, and now you have an attack. And now you can even push with the idea to go here. Interesting. Wow, g5. That's pretty nuts. g5 to expose a target on h5. And here I am trying to win material. And these grandmasters are going for this beautiful combinations. Interesting. g5. Let's see. g5. King g7 is what the book played. I'm not sure how that helps. So they don't even take this pawn, actually. They actually play queen takes e3, d5, which is what I thought would be good for black. And then apparently rook d1 saves the day. Rook d1, rook d7, giving up the potential exchange because his knight's a beast. Knight takes h5 check, king h8. What? Oh, knight f6. Okay, just want to win the pawn. Rook d6, queen d3, threatening checkmate, e4, and bishop takes e4. And there's white 1-0. What just happened? The threat is if I take, then I take here. The threat is also to move this bishop anywhere, so my queen can access the h7 square. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Let's go back. This is pretty nuts. Okay, let's go back to the start. So we had this position, and there's some crazy kingside attack that goes on, starting with h4. And then the line that we didn't even look at, that was the most critical line, was bishop takes e3. Well, that I didn't even consider. And you don't take back the bishop, you just play knight f6 check. I thought it didn't work because you would lose material. And I thought g5 didn't work because the bishop can just sacrifice itself. But tactically it can't. So, for example, takes check. Oh, can it? No, it can't. Alright, checkmate. So, wow. So I have to think about. Sam Chamberlain has this really good question to think about, and we always talk about if you're trying to make an idea work and your opponent tries to stop you, what happens if you do it anyways? And I butchered that question a little bit, but he's basically trying to say, even if you have a move like g5 that you want to play, but this bishop sack will try, win material and also like stop your plan. Like, what happens if you play g5 anyways? Like with concrete variations, can you make that move work? And in this position, yeah, it can work. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And they also had a line here, which I also try to look at. Where they play bishop to g4. And then here you play queen e4. Man, ain't that a beast? You don't even take this bishop. You just go for mate. This is beautiful. Wow. Look at that. What did I play? So I played queen takes. I thought, oops. After bishop g4, I played queen takes e3 with the idea of winning material. I'm just trying to win material, and now these grandmasters, man. Queen e4. What a beautiful move. Okay, that's very good. So the main line is king g7. I thought you would take the pawn here. I don't know why you don't. Let me see the engine. So the engine, if you see it on the very top, if you can see it. Well, I don't think you can see it because of this recording. But the engine says +7 for knight takes, or +6.5 for knight takes h5, and +6 for queen takes e3. So I'm turning off the engine now. They're both fine. They're both great moves. He just did it in different order. Right? Rook d1 captures, and this is just a killer. Wow, all these moves. So let me just go back. What was my first instinct? My first instinct here, only two moves, g takes and h4. So to summarize, I ruled out quickly that g takes is not the right move, and then I played h4, and I looked at three lines. I looked at bishop b7, bishop f6 for like 1 second, bishop h6, and then bishop takes h4. And none of those lines were the best. Let's actually look at the h4 line, because that was the most critical, or the most, like, I thought black's better chance, because I didn't see bishop takes e3. So let's go h4 and bishop takes, and see what the engine says. Engine says queen h3 +4. Just crushing. So it looks like the open. See, I was thinking this too, like, because if you take, then I guess you win material here, and that's enough to win. So I guess in my material mind, I thought that would be good, but I thought you would only open the H file if you're gonna launch an attack. And if I think I saw this move, and I saw the fact that I just trade everything, but this is still winning for white. +4. Oh goodness! I'm turning on my engine. You can hear the laptop fan going on. All right. So that's what I learned, that the other candidate move, which is the best move, is bishop takes e3. So h4, bishop takes e3, and then you don't take the bishop at all. You play intermezzo move, and then, oops, the king went to h8. And then you play g5. That's beautiful. Man, everything is freaking awesome. Then what did black play here? Black could play bishop g4, which runs into queen e4. And then I'm trying not to look at my notation. Black played king g7. And I'm not sure why. Oh, because of this. Because you want to bring your rook in after the queen captures. So the queen can capture on h5, but it's totally fine. Knight can capture, or the queen can capture on e3. In the game, they chose queen e3, d5. I guess e4 here doesn't work right away, because we had a threat of going to h7, but it doesn't work here. It looks like, because if I play queen d3, I guess now you can push. Takes. Alright, let's go back. So instead, queen d1 was played. So once you create threats on one side of the board, you can create threats on the other side of the board. Voluntary giving up the exchange. But instead we go back. And now, because the king is on h8, now we can threaten this move. And after e4, this is crushing. And 1-0. Wow. Hope you guys learned a lot. This was some advanced stuff, and I'm 0 for 2 right now of these hard tactics, but I hope to hopefully get over 50% as time goes on. So, original position is here, and the best move is h4. If you saw that, awesome job. And you're thinking like, damn, why don't you see this obvious variation? You're missing bishop takes e3. I gotta look at this. Knight f6 check was beautiful too. I was just so focused on this knight. I'm doing too many tactics problems where you win material and you discover check and all these things. So this is a very nice idea to challenge that thinking and think more creatively on how to attack and how to checkmate and not focus on material too much, which is what Lewis keeps telling me. He thinks I count material too much and I'm not focused on checkmating. So another example of doing that here. Yeah, that's all my commentary. My brain is fried from doing this one problem. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care.